exactly 1 year ago, we were spawned here for the very first time in this weird place called AltspaceVR. A little bit clumsy at first. We were stumbling around with big marveled eyes of our avatars, but it literally was love at first sight. To this day, we are totally amazed by the opportunities of this great environment. Also, we are very happy to be part of this community and to be close to people like you and you. And that's especially important in the times of social distancing. The X Nights are meant to be a contribution from our side to move closer together again and to bring this community to life. A few words about myself. I live in Berlin, undisputedly one of the biggest party capitals in the world. I am already over 50, and my heyday as a nightlifer is a few years behind me, to be honest. Nevertheless, and to my own astonishment, I haven't been to as many parties like in the last few months for a long time, and that despite COVID-19. And that brings me to our speaker for tonight, because he's somewhat responsible, not only for my coming back as nightlifer, but also for my coming out as a techno enthusiast, a genre to which I only found access in virtual reality. Having spent 7 years with Pixar and working on Academy-winning films such as Brave and Toy Story 3, our speaker has extensive experience in character animation, product and project development. In his talk, he shares the story of how he came about to develop Pixar, the software that enables people to learn DJ skills and transfer into a huge dance floor. Ladies and gentlemen, ravers, rock and rollers, party animals, please give a
TribeXR, and TribeXR is a virtual reality DJing application. Before diving into the details of the app and the product, I want to give you a little bit of orientation of what's happening here during this talk. So I'm going to switch quickly, Tribe, and switch to a different view. So here's the front-facing view. So here I am inside of Tribe. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. Switch here. So I'm both inside of Tribe and I'm inside of AltspaceVR at the same time. And I can say more about Q&As about how I'm doing that, but suffice to say, I'm primarily inside of Tribe and I'm using a video conferencing system to be able to stream directly into this room inside of AltspaceVR. And the benefit of that is that as a creator and as a musician, I can create using a fairly sophisticated set of equipment that's built uniquely inside of Tribe. But I can share that with others in the world. I can share it certainly with you folks in AltspaceVR, but I could also potentially share it with anybody that may be in a browser or things along those lines. So yeah, and I can say more about this, but essentially, hopefully you can see and hear me. I can see and hear you, and I can give you a walkthrough of the application. So let me switch back. So just saying a little bit more about the bio, my background. I have a background in film and animation. I spent several years at Pixar, working in the research and development group, working on feature films, and also as a technical artist, working on previs of upcoming feature films. I also spent several years at a company called High Fidelity, which was one of the early explorations of the metaverse. It was founded by a pioneer in metaverse technology, Philip Rosedale, who is the founder of Second Life. And through that, I discovered the power of virtual reality. as I mentioned in one of the consequences of this wonderful introduction is understanding that storytelling is just this amazing thing, and hopefully we're all kindred spirits in this interest in being able to tell great stories, great human stories. So storytelling, and also music. Music has been something that has been a core passion of mine from a very young age. As a matter of fact, I remember when I was in grade school, feeling somewhat uncomfortable in school, feeling a little bit lost, feeling a little bit sad, actually, just not quite fitting in. And then one day going to a music class and seeing the music teacher playing piano and seeing that for the first time, hearing her play the chord, and everything just clicked for me, and everything just made sense. The feeling I had was just remarkable. I understood the chords. I could even anticipate the next notes that were coming out. I was like, wow, music is this amazing, powerful, cosmic thing, a wonderful thing to dedicate your life to and your time to. So as an entrepreneur, one question that's worth asking ourselves are...
Leider gibt es ein bisschen Ton-Issues, aber da kann man gar nicht viel machen. Ne?
And for me personally, everything about it.
Ja, naja.
frozen currently, I think. Tschüss, tschüss, tschüss.
to the folks. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to talk about them.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Is that working? Yeah, that was great. Also, Thomas wasn't there to rush you. I think we had a camera that disappeared at the front of the stage.
Gotcha.
Through, I think. Am I correct there, Thomas? I think Thomas became the camera. Right, I'll open
up
the hand raise feature now. So, if anyone has any questions, we'll get them lined up. Bear with me. There we go. That feature is now available. If you have any questions, just hit the hand raise button, and that will queue up some of your questions. I know I have some because I had some earlier, some things we're talking about, which would be interesting to bring up later. Yeah. I'll let everyone have a chance first.
I'll let the music play a little bit in the background. Hopefully it's not distracting, but
yeah. Couple questions coming up.
Cool.
So who do we have first? We have Dan F Man 8. So I'm going to put you on air and give you the megaphone, Dan. So let's just see if that's working. Dan, where are you? I can't see you.
Yes. There
you are, just there. Yes.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
So I just started Tribe, and oh my God, I loved it from the moment that I saw that you could do it in VR, because it said it frees up a lot of money. My question is let's say I'm mixing, a song on Tribe, and I have like different drops that I want to use, like maybe a horn playing like, just to kind of signify in between, or maybe a sample of me saying something, like it's time for the takeover. Like I want that to be actually playing. How would I mix that into my my actual DJ set? How would I cue the sample up without having to put it on a completely different track or whatever?
Well, I mean, I do recommend
a feature for that.
Well, I do recommend. I mean, it would be faithful to like the real world equipment, and with using the real world equipment, you could use either the CDJs or you could potentially use a sampler. And I mean, just a footnote: we are actively working on a sampler, and that should be ready for you guys in the next few weeks. And so you can use the sampler for that. You'll be able to load up the sample. You'll have a button, and then bam, 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 air horn, or like a vocal hook and things along those lines. In the meantime, though, with the CDJs, we also have a 4-deck setup. So you could get that, in which case you have the 2 decks for your primary mixing, but you have a 3rd and 4th deck for doing kind of special, sound effects. And if I switch back into VR, into Tribe real quick, the feature that you could use with that is kind of a hot cue feature. So again, these are the hot cues here. So if I kind of crank the volume again, let me see if I can load a different song that has maybe a slightly more, this might be fun. Just gonna load this. So I'll pause it here. Maybe this is fun here. Okay, let's just say that, let's say randomly that this is where you want your sample to hit. You can line up your track here. Make sure you can see this, okay? You can line up your track here, and then if you have a sample, it'd be very similar, but on the CDJ, you can use these hot cues to specify a point where you want to fire off that sound. And the way you set your hot cue is you just click, boop, and you'll notice that now it's green, and then on here, it's also green. That means I've set my hot cue. And now, no matter if you're playing some other song, this would be very silly, but let's say I'm playing this song, and you just want to fire off this like sound.
Free your mind, free your soul, free your body.
You can even throw some effects.
Free your mind, free your soul.
So, I mean, kind of random samples, but you get my drift, right? You can use the hot cues to jump to a particular location and just fire off that sound. And it's, again, hot. So the minute you click the button, it starts to play. It goes to that location. It starts to play. So that'd be one way of doing it. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Yeah.
I thought that sounded really good.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, thanks for that, Dan. Right, I'll take the megaphone off you now, and We have a lot of Thomases in here, but we've got a question from. So I'm going to put you on air now, Thomas. There you go. You should have megaphone now. Where are you, Thomas?
Can you hear me?
Hi, Thomas.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
one of the Thomases, and I think with music and playing it to other people, it's always about copyrights. So you mentioned Beatport and SoundCloud as a source. Can I play some stuff off my iTunes, Spotify library? Can I put up my own tracks with maybe samples that I don't know, I didn't pay for or whatever? So
Yeah.
there would be one question I have.
Yeah.
And another one after that.
Yeah, for sure. So, we've integrated with Beatport and with SoundCloud. Let me switch back to this. So, eye contact with you guys. We've integrated with Beatport and with SoundCloud primarily because Beatport is sort of the premier, electronic music store, and they have a huge collection of just DJ-centric and dance-centric music. And they have an API that supports Unreal Engine, so we're able to integrate. And the same is true with SoundCloud. SoundCloud is largely for indie artists, but also mainstream artists to kind of post their music and to share it. We would love to integrate with apps like Spotify, but Spotify is the one that there are copyright restrictions that basically they don't support DJ apps anymore, and we'll see if that changes over time. Apple Music probably is a thing that we could do, but we'd have to establish the relationship with them and just kind of get it going. It's more of a technical limit than anything else. But you can load your own music. So these songs that I'm playing right now, these are private, personal MP3 files that I'm just playing. Yes, with regard to copyright and licensing in general, there's essentially this gray area. One thing that I've learned over the past couple of years in this sort of music industry is that there's no like God-given rules. There are these rules that we have all created for ourselves, and the labels have created, and the music stores have created, and everyone's abiding by those rules, or they're deviating away from the rules as technology progresses. And so there's this ever-moving target. So like, you'll notice that Twitch has its own rules about how to stream music. YouTube has its own rules. Facebook has its own rules. And they're all different, despite the fact that it's the same labels behind them. And they just have these, different arrangements with those labels and how they handle the copyright music. So with YouTube, you might notice that if you do stream to YouTube and it is recorded, that they won't block the streams. They won't, give you a strike on your account, but they may block it in certain regions depending on. They may block the recorded videos in certain regions depending on the licensing, but they also may put ads in front of it and things like that. So they find these ways of kind of monetizing those streams. With Facebook Live, they just cut the stream. Like if they notice that there's a copyright thing, they'll cut it immediately because they have their own arrangement with the labels. And Twitch is probably the most rogue one that I've heard. Is that I think those conversations are happening as we speak to figure out how to manage the music that gets streamed onto Twitch. One thing that has become recently true is you don't want to store those videos anymore because that's where your account will get a strike and potentially get suspended or deactivated. But as far as streaming live, there's no punishment for it. There's just Twitch figuring out how to work with the labels. So long story short, it's shark-infested gray waters. So be careful, but use your best discretion on how you use your music, how you stream your music. And we'll all get through this together, I suppose. That's my that's my answer about the copyright.
Thank you. And one short question. Is there a headphone function? Can I pre-listen to deck A while playing deck B?
Yeah, let me demonstrate that really quickly. It's a bit of a pro technique, if you will, because as a performer, what you want to do is you want to cue your music before you play out into the master so that you can preview the incoming track and make sure it sounds good and beat matched.
Ja.
And
Komme gleich, brauche noch 5 Minuten, fangt an. Sorry.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'll let's see. Here, I'll just use these same tracks. Okay, so for example, let's say I'm playing this song, because I am playing this song, but I want to preview this song before I actually bring it in. And in real life, what a DJ would do is put on physical headphones that they plugged into the mixer and preview the song privately. because we're in VR, we already have headphones on. So we introduced this concept of virtual headphones, where you have a second pair of headphones that you put on in order to hear the cue music. And the way you activate your virtual headphones is by clicking next to your ear. So I'm going to click next to my ear, and now I have my virtual headphones on. We should probably have like a model or something that shows up. But you can kind of see here, this little indicator shows that I have it on. So if I click again, it's off. If I click again, it's on. This means that I'm wearing my virtual headphones. What that lets me do is use the cue function. So if I turn on the cue button here, you'll notice the volume is still down, but as I click here, you should be hearing, hopefully in the stream, you're hearing my cue audio. Are you hearing my cue audio?
Yeah, I think we get.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. So you'll notice that, but that's not going out into the master. That's because I have my virtual headphones on. So in other words, if I turn my virtual headphone off and do that again, you're not hearing it. So the idea being, anyway, I would cue with here and then slowly bring in the volume. So that is how you use your cue audio. Hopefully that answers the question.
That's great. Well demonstrated.
Yep. Thank you.
Good. All right. Thanks for that, Thomas. Who we got a question from now? We have a question. I'm just going to take that microphone off you, and we have a question from. Is it Aaron or Aaron? I'm just going to give you the phone.
Aaron, can you hear me? Okay.
Aaron. Yep.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? So I'm interested in virtual teaching test using green screen and mixed reality.
Awesome.
Can you talk a little bit about best practices?
Well, I can tell you a little bit about green screen inside a tribe, and then I can tell you kind of in a broader sense the kind of green screen, I guess, productions that I've seen. Certainly, with live streaming, there's this idea of trying to blend the performer with environments. Whether it's like visually interesting environments or virtual environments that kind of match the destination. So using a green screen is a great way of doing it. You're keying out the background and replacing it with some other content. If you have a real life DJ, that real life DJ would have to be against a real physical green screen, and then you would superimpose virtual visuals onto it. And it could be just kind of, light effects, but it could also be a fully realized virtual world, like a DJ DJing on a submarine under the water or something like that, which could be super fun. To make that more easily accessible for DJs within Tribe, we created this notion of a green screen inside a Tribe, and I can show you that for a second. So what I can do is activate my green screen. So if I clear the screen now, this is the back wall without any visuals going. But I can turn it into a green screen and now use this as a compositing effect, a chroma key effect that allows me to replace everything that's behind me with some other visual. So it could be a video that's playing on your computer. It could be some kind of interesting YouTube thing that's streaming from YouTube, or Giphies, or just images, things like that. But the cool thing about the fact that we're in a digital platform is everything is digital. Everything is sort of plastic, if you will, very malleable. In other words, what's happening in here, you could think of it a little bit like a Photoshop document, and everything is a layer. So I can hide other things too. So in fact, I can hide my avatar. Just don't have my avatar. I can hide the room. So now all the room's gone and just replaced with green screen. I can even hide the table. So it's just the table. And you can use this creatively to composite. You could have the decks on, the surface of the moon or something crazy like that. Had the decks. I don't know what you would do at this point, but you're fully green screen enabled. But the combo that seems like it would make sense is if you have the decks and the avatar, then you could do this on some interesting surface. Maybe you would include the table just to ground it a little bit. But again, you can use this green screen technology to composite things and then live stream. The cool thing is that, because you're in VR like this, it's kind of all handled for you. Like it's a 360 sphere of green screen. And so you're able to kind of easily do this. If you had to do this in real life, it'd be pretty tricky to get like a green screen stage. Just getting the lighting right, it would be expensive. It would be complicated. Benefit in real life is you have the real life person, which is always lovely to see the real life face, but it's very kind of difficult to do. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. But anyway, a little bit of info about green screens. So let me.
Second part of the question was more of mixed reality.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So, Yeah, so Tribe right now is sort of entirely VR based, and so I have my headset on, I have my hand controllers, and everything is happening in a VR context. The ways that we personally are thinking about how to blend in can join from anywhere. They could join from their browser on their desktop, and they could use their webcam to be able to connect. So you could see them physically inside the room. And even though they're not performing, they're like dancing or they're part of the overall experience. So you bring in some of that mixed, that blended reality. And then for Tribe in the long run, of course, we're very interested in augmented reality headsets when they become available. This use case fits really well with AR because you could imagine having virtual decks in your physical living room or having physical decks with virtual overlays for teaching purposes or different visuals. So when that becomes a possibility, then we could leverage some of that mixed reality. But I guess I would just maybe encourage you to check out virtual production tools in Unreal Engine. We're built on Unreal Engine, but those virtual production tools have a lot of mixed reality and compositing guidance, so that might be helpful. I have just like a minute left before my next appointment. Maybe one more question. Yeah, if that's cool.
But I think let's see who we've got next. I think Dan's back in with another question, Dan. So we'll give you the megaphone. You go. You should have the megaphone now again, Dan. Where were you, Dan?
Yeah, and I'm gonna make it quick for you because I know you got to go. So I had some of that same idea as far as doing like a live stream. Could you please walk me through how I can have people join from a desktop application? Because one of my things was doing like interviews on the actual VR, and I couldn't figure out how to have people join my Facebook Live since I was streaming from the Oculus. Could you walk me through that? Because that's gonna really hit me.
Yeah, absolutely. So one, I would encourage you to message me on Discord if you would. Then I can like straight up walk you through it. The system that we're using right now, that I'm using right now for this, is a video call technology. You can think of it like Zoom, basically. And we just happen to be VR to VR, but it could be VR to real life with a webcam and mic. It's an internal tool right now, and we're planning on releasing it. We have a version of it working inside of Tribe where it's Tribe to Tribe using the system, but the next thing is making it Tribe to the web. So basically, anybody on the web can join this call, and that should be ready in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if you hit me up, I can get you access to it, and we can talk about how to get it going.
Great. Thank you so much for that, because that's something I'm really interested in, and you guys, I'm glad to hear that you're actually developing it.
Yeah, because then it makes it really easy to connect with your people, like your friends, your fans, the students, your family. It just makes it like a one-click button, and now one-click action, and now everyone can join and hang out and experience the magic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for having me for the talk as well. I'm just honored to be here, and hope you guys found this useful, and looking forward to like connecting with you guys on the musical journey.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
everybody.
Thank
you.
I'll save my questions. I'll ask you another time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about having to cut that short, but I have to
Thanks, Ozan.
drop off. Yeah, thank you.
From my side, from our side, from VM people. Thanks for sharing your story. Just one more thing.
Yeah.
If people would like to get involved, to become actually a VR DJ, I just wanted to point them to your workshop, which you offer.
Yeah.
Each Sunday, I guess that right?
Yeah, Sundays at 11. Yeah. So come hang out with us there. Yeah, 11 Pacific time.
11 Pacific time. If you want to get involved, get Tribe XR, join the workshop, and if you want to experience Tribe XR tonight, you can join us again at 10 o'clock for the X Beats, and there we will have DJ Illuminatty, who is also here. And she will play a set. So see you all later, and thanks for coming. See you back June 10th for our next X Night. Bye. Thanks for coming.
See everybody. Bye. Thank you. Much love.
Right, I'll unmute now. Here we go. Now everyone can speak.
You guys, this I came in right on the time to be able to get the information. So thank you.
That's all right.
Thanks for coming.
That's all right. No worries.